Hello everyone, this is Ben Bird from www.justchilloutbuddy.com, and today I'm going to be talking about storing up cash. So a lot of people are stressed out because they're in debt. I already covered that in the last video, how to get out of debt. So you'll be even less stressed if you have a financial reserve. So this one is about storing up more cash, just saving money, basically. So first, pay off your house. Some people don't consider their house payment to be debt. Well, it is debt. It might be your biggest debt. I mean, if you owe $100,000 or $200,000 on a house, well, that's $100,000 or $200,000 of debt. Right? It's not like debt is debt. It doesn't matter if it's debt on your house, debt on your car, debt on your student loans, debt on whatever. It's like debt is debt. So pay off your house. And you might be thinking, whoa, nobody really has their house paid off. Well, yeah, a lot of people do. My parents do. A lot of people do, in fact, live that way. And it's simpler and it's more stress-free. And that's my goal, is to pay off my own house. And that really should be your goal too. Don't just keep paying mortgage payments forever. Just actually pay your whole house off, and then it's yours. You own it forever. There's still expenses like taxes you got to pay on it and etc. But that's the first step, store up cash. Second step, don't ever get back into debt. Sign up a little contract for yourself that says, I promise myself that I will never ever get back into debt for any reason. And if you save enough money, then you won't have to get into debt. You know what I mean? If some emergency comes in, and that's actually later on, and one of my next points is to have an emergency fund. So the third one, so the first one, again, pay off your house. The second one, don't get back into debt. The third one is pay cash for everything. And I don't mean that you literally have to use dollar bills. You could just be using a debit card. Basically, you already have the money up front, and then you use that. A lot of credit card companies, they have lots of incentives for people to use their credit cards. And if you're like super disciplined, you can do that, but like pay it off immediately, But generally speaking, just don't do that. Don't fall for the gimmicks of the credit card companies, and don't fall for the sales tactics of banks and etc. Just keep your life more simple and pay cash for everything. This really will reduce your stress, because it'll eliminate one of the biggest causes of stress, which are financial troubles. Okay, so the next one here is have an emergency fund of 6 months. That's a long time. So basically, like, if you had to go, ask yourself this question: if you had to go 6 months without working, without making any money, what would happen to you? Hopefully you can be self-sufficient enough, have enough money in store so where you can survive. You can stay in your house without having to rely on others too much. Now, I know that would be ideal. I mean, imagine how much better the world would be if everybody had a 6-month financial reserve. That would be a lot of security, and you need things in your life that give you security in order to be stress-free. Now, there are some people who are like monks or something, and they can be stress-free even when the world is crashing around them. But most people aren't that way, And so there are practical, hands-on things that you can do to reduce your stress, and storing up cash is one of them. All right. So after you have a 6-month emergency fund, I would recommend the next thing that you should do is start thinking about retirement. I know it's kind of like boring to think about retirement, but it's going to happen. Hopefully you'll have a retirement. Hopefully you'll have a time in your life to when you can stop working and just live off the money that you've already made in your life, And hopefully you can have the house that you want and have the freedom that you want to maybe travel, to spend a lot of time with kids and grandkids, to have hobbies. So all that stuff takes money. And so I am not like a financial expert. Maybe you can tell by some of my commentary. It's very basic. But no financial expert would disagree with me. I really feel that way. Like, I don't think that there's anybody out there who would say that you shouldn't have money saved up, or that you shouldn't save for retirement, or that you shouldn't pay off your house. I mean, I think doesn't everybody think, though, yeah, that's the ideal? I mean, I feel like if there's a financial advisor who's telling you that you shouldn't pay off your house or anything like that, like, maybe they have an ulterior motive. Maybe they're trying to sell you a financial product or whatever. Like, in my opinion, why not just keep life very simple and clean, and keep your finances very simple and clean, and be debt free, right? Okay, so storing up cash is definitely a way that you can reduce your stress. And if you're not doing that, you can start working on that. Don't stress out about it, but do all these things calmly. Don't stress out about getting out of debt in order to get rid of your stress, because that's kind of like self-defeating, But what I'm saying is, let me just kind of move on to a Bible verse. You need to keep money in perspective. So my last video and this video are about money. And that's a really important part of life. But it's not everything, right? I've seen people get corrupted with riches. If you focus too much on money, like if you neglect some of the more important things in life, like family and such, and you just are after money all the time, that's not healthy, and that's not what I'm advocating. All I'm advocating for is financial stability, so that you have time to do things that are more meaningful and more special. So the Bible verse, it's Luke chapter 12, verses 13 to 21. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me. So there's a son fighting with another son about money, right? So their father has passed away, and they're having an argument about who gets what. This happens a lot. It happened 2,000 years ago, and it happens today. So, and Jesus said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? And Jesus said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. I'm reading from the King James Version of the Bible here. That's the one I grew up with, and that's the one that I like. I like the if all the time. So, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. So there's a man, he has a lot of fruit in his field, right? That's what's happening in this scripture here. He's got so much, he doesn't know where to put it all. And he's like, oh, my old barns are too small. What do I do with all this food? Instead of sharing it with the hungry or something like that, he just says, oh, I'm going to tear down my barns. I'm going to build bigger barns. Of course, that would take a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, but that's what he's going to do. Unfortunately, this is what happened next. But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. So the foolish rich man died right after he made his greater barns. And so what was the point of all that effort? So, keep money in perspective. That's the moral of that parable that Jesus taught, was just keep money in perspective. Jesus wasn't against barns or food storage. Rather, he was against obsessing over that stuff and spending all your time on that stuff. So anyway, I hope that this video has helped you reduce your stress by giving you some ideas to become more financially stable. If you're already financially stable, then that's great. Why'd you watch this video? I'm glad that you did anyway, if you really got this far into the video. Yeah, I plan to keep on keeping on with these videos and these blog posts, so stay tuned. Check out my blog at www.justchilloutbuddy.com. There's a link to it in the description below, and subscribe and share and etc. See you later. Bye.